Hello and welcome. I am Raziel, and today I wish to talk about the Imperium and how I would improve it. This was going to be about the Imperial Guard or Astra Militarum, but I believe that we can cover most of the Imperium, including those parts as well, in one video rather than splitting it up into two. Now, the first thing to do with the Imperium is get them to lose. Right, I get it. Games Workshop don't want your good guys to lose, which is weird because I can't name a single science fiction IP where the good guys or protagonists have such a run of luck that they never lose. Star Trek had the Borg kick their ass for ages. Star Wars had the Empire Strikes Back, and the Clone Wars. They had the end of Clone Wars, obviously. They had the good guys get an absolute kick in then. Then you had Star Wars started. Halo had an absolute drubbing on Reach. So again, we can talk about many different science fiction IPs, and the good guys just getting their butts handed to them because it makes a more interesting story other than good guys win, good guys win, good guys win, good guys pulls win out of butt. And I know people can say, but Cadia! Okay, let's talk about Cadia. What has the aftermath been for Cadia? Oh, look, we got a new Primarch back. That's bad. Okay. We had Nurgle actually get wounded. The god Nurgle actually got wounded because of the aftermath of Cadia. That seems bad? No, that seems good. We've had Demon Primarchs get their butts handed to them constantly. Everything that's came out of Cadia has not been a bad thing. Now you can talk about Basilictrix Maledictum. Okay, let's talk about that. Now Chaos has a massive amount of land within the centre of the galaxy. So now Chaos are fighting a war on two fronts? Because that always works well for people? Always? Constantly? No. There's nothing at all bad has come out of Cadia except the loss of a planet. Even the regiments from Cadia are still recruiting. So no, nothing bad came out of the fall of Cadia. And do you know what would have been bad for Cadia? Abaddon taking Cadia. Actually taking the planet. That would have been bad. Because now you've got Abaddon has a planet, a major planet with which is part of a major transport route, by the way, which a lot of people forget about Cadia. The Eye of Terror wasn't just there to stop Chaos coming out. It was basically a good, safe way for ships to enter the warp in a designated place so they can kind of tell where they were coming out. So you would have taken this massive transport lane. You would have had a planet where you could constantly recruit people and soldiers. You would have decent amount of resources. It was quite close to where you're from, so anything you needed you could just go and get quite easily without having to traipse across the galaxy to do it. Taking Cadia would have been more severe for the Imperium than losing Cadia. And this isn't the first time either. Vigilus as well. Vigilus was lost to Abaddon. But what did Abaddon do? See, when you got to think about Abaddon now compared to when he first came out, you got to think like a sensible general. Like he just took Vigilus. Sensible general would have garrisoned the place, made sure it was well resourced, made sure it was well stocked, made sure that it was well prepared, defended against the Imperium. You know, now you have this planet which is major to the Imperium, and that's what you would do. But now we're thinking like Abaddon, so you go, that's what Abaddon would do, so leave. Just leave. Sorry. And that's what Abaddon did. He just left. Didn't garrison the place, didn't stop or do anything like that. He just left. Weird, I bet. That's what everyone was thinking. Weird. Basically, the Imperium got there. And this isn't the first time, by the way. I love the Iron Warriors, but when they took Hydra Caudatus in Storm of Iron, they did exactly the same thing, because the last pages of that book, spoiler for a 20-year-old book, I suppose. I know, it's about 15 years old, actually. Spoilers, I suppose. Yeah, the Iron Warriors left, and the Imperial Fist retook it. Congratulations, I suppose, for being useless. Yeah, Chaos are just to get to the point where they're just useless. I think the term Toothless Tiger best represents it. Anyway, next is the Imperial Guard. Actually, yeah, let's talk about the Imperial Guard next. Because what Imperial Guard need is kind of the opposite. Where the Imperium needs a big loss, the Imperial Guard needs a win, but without the help of the Space Marines. They need to be able to do this big win on their own. They're meant to be the sledgehammer of the Imperium. They're meant to be the first strike, the first part of any attack. You know, the meat shield. You send the Imperial Guard, you send the Starties in after you sent the Imperial Guard. Look at Vrax. We've got a new book of Vrax coming out, but look at Vrax. The Imperial Guard needed help at the end. The Dark Angels saved the day. Yes, suck it up. The Dark Angels won that one. Okay, they left halfway through as well, but they came back. You know, they didn't hear no bell. So, give them an actual major victory without the help of the poster boy Space Marines. Show that the humans can actually do something in this grim dark world of the grim dark setting of the far future. You know, give them something, just anything at this point. A major victory, not just some sort of planet that they've taken or retaken, a victory that actually means something. And with that, let's actually see some more Imperial Guard stuff as well. Some more regiment stuff. We get so much character stuff with the Imperial Guard. They're good books, don't get me wrong. I like the Minkulesk. I like the Jarvis Kane. I like the Yarrick books, you know. But let's have something more regimental. And actually see how regiments work in a novel rather than just that. It's more of show, don't tell. And talking about show, not tell, about the Imperium, let's actually see the Imperium. Let's see what it's like. Let's see how it works on the day-to-day. The basic stuff. Dan Abnett has done a good job showing this as much as he can in his books, where we, especially through the Eisenhorn books and the Ravner books, we see the day-to-day kind of, but it's through the eyes of the Inquisition. But let's actually see some more of it without, you know, just as it is. Let's see how bad it is in the Imperium, how dark, and because when you read these books, it's always like, yeah, it's bad, as in I've got to go to work in the morning, bad, and I've got to go home at night, bad. I live in a very poor flat or apartment, bad. It's just bad, but not dark bad. It's not, you know, people fearing for their lives every step of the way, bad. You know, we constantly get told this, that, you know, the Imperium's under strike all the time, but we never really see it affect the everyday. It's like Necromunda had a demon invasion. It would be nice to see how that actually affected Necromunda. If you read like the Hound's Reach books, between the times of the Armageddon Wars of Grazgor Fracka, yeah, it got back to normal. And after he left a second time, it got back to normal. They just put the defences up and prepared for it. Nothing really changed for Armageddon after two major wars with the Orcs. And this is something you see quite a lot of. It kind of shows one of two things. You've got two options here, as far as I can tell. You have the option that the day-to-day life is so bad that everyone's at war, or the day-to-day life is so boring, it's just boring, it's just mundane. You don't really want to hear about it. They're just doing what you're doing now. You go to work, you go to bed, you eat, you sleep, you do everything normal, and you just hear about the stories, and nothing happens. And I don't think it's a good thing. I think we need to see more about the Imperium, about how they actually do struggle underneath this tyrannical regime, this, you know, theological tyranny. We need to see more of that. And actually that goes with Tower as well. The irony of this is, and it really is, if you read the Eldar books by Gav Thorpe, no, okay. I mean, he does elves better than he does everything else. Which isn't really a high bar for him. We actually learn more about how the Eldar life is compared to how the day in the Imperium is. Yes, the Imperium is completely varied with different types of worlds and etc, 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 but the day-to-day would be the same underneath a tyrant, just with little different bits of flavour. which is a shame because I think we really, really would benefit from some more stuff about the day-to-day life of the 41st Imperium. And honest, I'll tell you what is good for this. The crime books are actually pretty good for this because, you know, it kind of does show it, and I'm glad they are doing it more. But I'd really like to see a proper in-depth book about the day-to-day life of the Imperium citizens. Even if it's done in like sort of textbook sort of thing. It would be interesting to me to read. Now, let's just sum this up. How to improve the Imperium? Get them to lose in a big way and not have Abaddon play silly sods and just somehow balls it up for himself anyway. Have the Imperial Guard actually do a major win, which is ironic compared to the next one. And let's see some more of a day-to-day of the Imperium itself. Those would be the ways I would improve the Imperium. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you in the next one. And of course, there's Wayland Games down below if you wish to save some money on your Warhammer, up to 20% off and free delivery up to £20. There is also Forbidden Planet for comics, DVDs, manga, etc, etc, and my merchandise. And Skyforge, go and give him a click, give him a bit of viewership. Yeah, see, like I said, that last one is he doesn't pay me, he's a good mate of mine, and I just wish to support him. Goodbye.